I'm Sumay, CEO of Weekly School, and welcome to Flutter Kids. If you haven't already, please check out my Getting Started with Flutter video. The first thing that you need to do is pull up flutlab.io, which is an online code editor for Flutter, which allows you to start coding with Flutter without downloading it. This is something you can also code on a phone, although I would recommend doing it on a computer since it is easier to work with. The first thing you should do is create a project, and you can just choose a simple stateless hello world project. Then click create. When you open it, you can then run your code. And once you run it, you can see it is just a simple app that says Flutter demo homepage with a text widget that says hello world. Some of the most simple widgets that you're going to need to know are one, a text widget, which basically allows you to display text, which shows you right here, just text, parentheses, and then quotation marks around whatever you want to say. And then one of the most important ones are columns, rows, and list views. So a column widget basically makes it so that you can put things into a column so that they're all stacked on top, stacked from top to bottom. And then, so a column widget can hold multiple children. This is different than something like a container which only has one child, which means you can only put one thing inside of it. So a column has a property children. And so now I can have this text widget that says hello world, and I can refresh this, but this is hot reload button, which instantly sees your changes, and nothing changes except it brings it up here because I didn't use a center widget, but now I can add another thing in this column. So for example, let's say I have another text widget that says, I am coding in Flutter. And if I refresh this, then now I see, hello world, I am coding in Flutter. And so a row basically does the same thing, except it shows it everything in a row instead of a column. So if I refresh this, now it's hello world, I'm coding in Flutter right next to it. And let me show you a list view. Is basically the same thing as a column, except now you can scroll. So this is if you have a lot of things in a page and then you need more space in your page for people to scroll. You can add whatever you want in here. And so I'm going to give you a resource that you can use to find new widgets to put in your app. And that is, I've created a Coda-doc, and you can go to coda.io/@ Sumay-McPhail/learning Flutter and learning Flutter, and I will put this link in the description. And here is basically where I've laid out a lot of different things, like what is a stateless and stateful widget, widget trees, and importing Flutter material.dart, what are buttons, and you can go here to find a lot of different widgets you can use. For example, there's an icon widget, which I shared in the Getting Started with Flutter video. There are drawers, and you can see this is what a drawer makes. And so there are just a lot of different widgets that I have in here that you can learn about, like list tiles, and also just things like K is web, which basically checks whether or not you're running Flutter on a web version or mobile version. And so then I also have a Getting Started tab that shows you how you can download Flutter and has a lot of my videos that I've made. For example, my Flutter Basics video, which gives you a lot of different things that you can, which basically gives you a basic knowledge of Flutter. My basic database with Flutter, grid, and then a lot of different widgets that you can watch videos for. And so to see all my YouTube videos, you can go to youtube.com/c/weekwall, and that where I have my lesson 1, getting started with Flutter. There are Flutter tutorials and Flutter widgets that you can check out. Now, as easy and as great as this online code editor is, it does have some limits. And if you really do want to get started with learning Flutter and trying to make your own app, I would recommend going to download Flutter. So those are a couple things that you need to know in order to start making apps, finding out new widgets that you can use, and testing them out in this online code editor, FlutLab. Thank you for watching, and for more information, you can go to weekwall.school.